All right, let's talk about something we've probably all seen or maybe even done, giving your cat a little saucer of milk. It feels like the ultimate treat, right? We've seen it in cartoons our whole lives. But what if I told you that this whole idea isn't just wrong, but it could actually be harmful for them? Yeah, let's get into it.
You can picture it perfectly, can't you? It's practically burned into our brains. This cute, fluffy cat, purring its heart out, totally content with a bowl of creamy white milk. It's the poster child for feline happiness.
And it just seems so harmless, a simple, loving gesture. But what's really happening inside your cat's body after they drink it? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. The reality is pretty shocking. A staggering 70% of adult cats are lactose intolerant. 70! So that innocent-looking treat could be setting them up for some serious digestive distress. So how on earth did we all get it so wrong? Let's unpack the history behind this huge and surprisingly dangerous myth. You can pretty much thank pop culture for this one. I mean, from Tom and Jerry to just about every other cartoon, we've had this image drilled into our heads forever. Cats plus milk equals pure bliss. Sure, the idea probably started way back when farm cats drank leftover cow's milk, but we know something now that our ancestors didn't. The aftermath is not so pretty. So you're asking, then why do they beg for it? Well, it's not about nutrition. Cats are what we call obligate carnivores, which means they are hardwired to crave fat. The creaminess and richness of milk basically tricks their brain. It mimics the fatty goodness of their natural prey. It's a pure craving, kind of like how we might crave a bag of potato chips. So why can a tiny little kitten handle its mother's milk just fine, but a full-grown cat can't deal with a saucer of cow's milk? The answer actually comes down to a single, really crucial enzyme. It's a really simple biological process. When they're kittens, their bodies are like little lactase factories, churning out all the enzymes they need to digest mom's milk. But right after they're weaned, that production just plummets. By the time they're adults, they have only about 10% of the lactase they started with. Their bodies have just moved on. So when an adult cat drinks milk, that undigested lactose just sits and ferments in their intestines. And this leads to a whole menu of awful symptoms, everything from gas and cramping to severe diarrhea, which can actually put them at risk for dehydration. Now, this is the number one thing I hear from cat owners. But my Fluffy loves milk and she never seems sick. And you know what? It's a totally understandable observation, but it misses a really critical piece of how cats behave. The key here is to remember a cat's survival instinct. They are absolute masters at hiding any sign of weakness or illness. So while you might not be seeing any obvious signs of sickness, that harmless splash of milk could be causing a chronic, low-level stomachache that you're just not aware of. Okay, so if milk is officially off the table, what can you give your cat as a special hydrating treat? The good news is there are much better and way safer options out there. Let's just do a quick side-by-side. Cow's milk is packed with lactose, causes a ton of digestive problems, and is basically useless nutritionally. On the other hand, a simple low-sodium chicken or turkey broth, it's a fantastic alternative. Zero lactose, it helps with hydration, and it even provides some beneficial amino acids. Let's just break down all the options so it's crystal clear. Cow milk and plant-based milks, that's a definite no. Commercial cat milks are a little better, but they should only be a very rare treat. For orphaned kittens, the only safe bet is kitten milk replacer, or KMR. But for almost any cat over 6 weeks old, low-sodium broth is the absolute winner. So what happens if the cat's already had the milk? You know, maybe a well-meaning guest gave them some, or maybe you're just learning all this right now. First thing, don't panic. There's a simple action plan. First, get rid of any milk that's left over. Next, make sure there's plenty of fresh water available to help fight off dehydration. Then you can offer a really bland food, like plain boiled chicken, to help soothe their stomach. And finally, keep that litter box extra clean so you can keep a close eye on their symptoms. But you also really need to know when it's more than just a simple upset stomach. If you see any of these red flags, like they're vomiting more than twice, if you see any bloody or black stools, if they look like they're in severe pain, maybe they're in a hunched posture, or if they're just lethargic and unresponsive, it's time to call your vet immediately. Also, and this is critical, any diarrhea at all in a kitten under 6 months old is an automatic vet call. We've busted the myth and we've covered the emergency plan. So now let's put it all together into a brand new, healthier approach for your cat's hydration and overall happiness.
Let's just recap the key numbers here. 70% of cats are lactose intolerant. They retain only about 10% of the enzyme they need to digest it. They have zero nutritional need for dairy, and there are 100% better and safer ways to give them a treat.
This chart really shows the best milk replacement of all. Dry food, it's only about 10% water. Milk is just plain unsafe. But wet cat food, that's about 75% moisture. It mimics their natural prey and gives them the hydration they desperately need without any of the risks.
Ultimately, it really just comes down to this. We all want to show our cats that we love them. But real love isn't about giving in to their every little craving, especially a craving that's based on a century-old myth. It's about understanding their true biological needs and making choices that are going to keep them healthy and comfortable for years and years to come. So I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you're armed with the truth, what's one simple, healthy change you can make for your cat this week? Are you going to add some wet food to their diet? Maybe try a little broth ice cube? Or even get them a water fountain? The power to bust this myth for good, it starts right in your home.